Okay, so let's
back,
get the people right in the know-how of what started happening to you in your home once your father, he lost his job, and that's what started everything.
Yes.
Is that correct? Have I
Yes,
got that
my
right?
father was a hardcore alcoholic. They spent the rent money. We moved to 16 or so places from the time I was born until I moved out.
Which is devastating as a child.
Oh
because you
yeah,
never
can't
make any
make friends. I had a big
No.
nose. I was flat-chested. I was tall and skinny because I never ate. I grew up with rats and cockroaches and bed bugs, and I got left in the care of anybody while my parents went to the bars every night.
Was your mother always an alcoholic, or did this happen once your father lost his job?
That's a great
that they
question.
both went down the path together?
She said if you can't join him, beat him. That's what she said to me. If I couldn't join, if you can't beat him, join him.
Yeah.
It's my dyslexia.
But I kind of like the way you
learning
said it the first time. Beat him. If you can't join him, beat the hell
Sorry,
out
I'm
of him.
trying. There's really not a lot of aggression left in me anymore, but sorry, that came out.
Yeah, but that actually
Right.
was perfect, because that's what your mother should have done. She should have said,
yeah.
get out of my life, you're not healthy for my daughter.
And that's what I always wanted her to
Yes.
do, even though I didn't have a lot of exposure to other families to see how bad it really was. I knew there was something wrong. I mean, I was hungry all the time. They used to fight and destroy the places we lived in and argue, and then I'd stay up all night because they'd keep me up. They'd sleep all day.
Well, how long, sorry to interrupt, but how long did it take from when he lost his job to this lifestyle changing that drastically?
Well, they waited almost 10 years after they were married to have me. So in that 10 years, everything went downhill very quickly. My mom lost the first home that she had when I was born. I was on a curb with my mother, getting thrown out of the house from the bailiffs, and my dad had, pissed up the mortgage money, and that's what he did for the rest of his life, really. So my mother was caught in this role of, telling him to change his life and do better, and that's like, talking to somebody like this, because when you're a hardcore alcoholic or addict, you're focused on doing what you do.
So do you feel that we've got a little dog chatting away here? Do you feel that there's so much about forgiveness and because they're your family that you should love them no matter what? Do you believe in that?
Well, I know for me,
I don't, because I feel that if you keep believing in, that's my own opinion. I feel that if you keep believing that you always think something great's going to happen, and that's a nice positive way to be. But I think sometimes we can't choose our family, and sometimes we have to accept the reality that maybe they're not good for us.
There are a lot of people in our lives, unfortunately, that are not good for us, and most of that comes from family, because those are the people that we're exposed to when we're young, and we kind of keep in those circles, right?
Right.
For me, I had to get rid of everyone in my life, pretty much. Now, I've reinstated myself back into the lives, for example, of my cousins who are, adults now, and I agree with the way they live their lives, and they're, successful in their own rights, and I've instituted myself back into their lives. But I was the black sheep, so I was the one who had all the negative people around me, and I had to get rid of all that, because coming from where I came from with the alcoholism, and I've been to jail and probation.
How did you go to jail? What was that all about?
I had met someone when I was 15. I was looking for love my whole life because I never received it.
Which is quite common.
Role models, and
you weren't taught what it was, so you were in search for it, right?
Exactly. I just knew that I was treated badly by, not kind of a woe is me treated badly, but in retrospect, one teacher called me creature. I used to get beaten up by the kids at school. My nose, because it was so big.
What did they call you?
They called me seahorse.
See, isn't that lovely? See, now I think the one nice thing about, now that we're both a little bit older, just a little bit, the nice thing is that there's a lot of acknowledgement for bullying.
It hasn't changed. I see the headlines now, like on CNN.
But at least
places.
they're talking about it.
But that's what it's about, talking about things, and
but they
letting
have
people
to do
know.
it.
Exactly. And it might be embarrassing for me or uncomfortable talking about certain aspects of my life, but there's inadvertently somebody that will call me up and say, thank you so much. I'm now going to get help for my problems and what happened in my life. And because I hear somebody successful like you tell your story and people are embracing you, and you're receiving positive feedback and awards
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
media and the book, maybe I should.
It allows people to be able to talk about their own because you're out
Yeah.
expressing yourself publicly.
I spoke for the governor of Hawaii twice. I
yeah,
represented
that was
Canada.
very interesting. I like that.
She let
yeah.
out women from prison to hear the speakers, and it was such an honor being asked to represent Canada for 2 years in a row. When the governor of Hawaii basically can ask, and does ask anybody and everybody.
Let's just quickly say how did you end up in jail? What did you do that they came and put you in jail?
I met my son's father, Eddie, got pregnant at 15, dropped out of school. And what do you do when you drop out of school and you meet a boy? You end up doing the same things that he does, and he introduced me to crime, and I started writing bad checks, and we stole a van full of televisions from an airport hotel in Toronto, a very big
Wow.
named airport in Toronto. And so we got busted, and Eddie said, if you don't take the rap, I'm going to go to jail, and the kid's not going to have a father, and the kid didn't have a father anyway. Lord, he didn't have a mother. I mean, he didn't come with a handbook, and I didn't have a handbook on how to be a mother either.
People say